Today we will see one of very interesting topics. Two topics we will see today. Let me see if Ganesh is joining before that. He is joining. He is joining. I have uploaded all the videos for today morning. I loaded everything.
Yeah, thank you, Rajesh.
So how are your parents?
As of now, they are good, Rajesh. My mom, she got
So we'll see two important concepts. First, I will go and share my screen. As I said, we will see what is a promise. We will see we saw emitter, we saw subject, we are going to see promise. These are the key three concepts in Angular. So if you want to master the Angular, you have to master these three concepts. Rest of all are very, very simple things. So before we see what is a promise, first I will show you something how the TypeScript works, because you need to know this to understand what is a promise. Let us say I have here line number 1. Line number 20, I am writing console.log, the first log. So whenever the init is called, the first log will be printed. So this is line number 1. Now, this dot calling, this dot second function. I'm calling some function. So I'll write one function here. I'm going to do a void, and I will just print out.
now what we are trying to do, Rajesh.
Yeah, I am going to explain what is a promise. There is a concept in Angular called as promise. Okay, like emitter and subject, there is something called as promise. To enter into what is promise, why promise came, we have to first understand what is the problem, what is the drawback. So why promise came? You should know what is promise, and you should know why it came. Because there was a problem, the promise was introduced. So far, whatever we have been learning, everything is good, but there is some issue. So first we will see what is the issue. Then we will see how to solve the issue and why promise came. So to understand the issue, I am creating a scenario. I'm creating a scenario to show you what is the issue. Okay, so what I did in ng on init, I gave a log, first log. Then I'm calling a function. Inside the function, I'm giving console second function. Next, I am giving a log as second log. Okay, this is clear. Now, can you guess and tell me like what will be the order of execution? We expect.
Rajesh, 1 second here. Oh, you given second function void.
There is
Okay,
a
you
log.
given two on because on okay. You given the I think Rajesh, as per my understanding, first it will come console second function, first one, the above one.
No, first this will come.
Oh, Rajesh.
It will enter
Because
into the
already,
one. This flag will come.
oh, NG on it, right? Okay, NG on it. The first block will come, and then the second function, it will go to console. Okay, this is going to the 19th line will print,
Yeah. So first 23, then 19, and then
and then
25.
25. Okay.
So we'll see here. So 19, 23, no, 23, 19, 23, 19, 25. So as expected, it is working good. But is our understanding correct? Is this how the Angular is working? We will do a test. What I will do, I will give a timeout here, meaning I will give a pause for 5 seconds here. And then I will print a console statement here. This is a syntax, don't worry about it. What happens is this line will not be printed immediately after entering into this, but this line will be printed after 5 seconds. That is timeout. So timeout is a function, and what is the timeout value we have to do? So it is 5 seconds. So now you see here, see first log, second log, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5 seconds, the log is coming.
Rajesh, could you please go to the code?
Yes.
Now 25 will come, 25 will come, 20 will come, 27 will print. Rajesh, here we are introducing set timeout, and what is going to do here?
It will wait for 5 seconds and then call this. This will not be called immediately. It is like thread dot sleeping. 1, 2, it will wait here for 5 seconds. Then it will go inside this.
Okay. We can see in the console, right, the time. Oh, after 5 seconds.
After 5 seconds only this is coming. So the point to notice here is, the reason I gave timeout here is, this is called and this is called, it is not waiting. It is going with the next line automatically. See here? What should have happened? After first log, there should be a 5 seconds delay. This should be printing. Then second log should come. Ideally, that is the correct way. Do you understand? This is the problem.
Could you repeat it, Rajesh?
Ideal case, what should have happened? Earlier, how it worked? First log, console function, then the second log. Correct?
Okay.
That is how initially it was working. When I gave a sleep inside that function, it didn't wait. It went on with the second log, printing the second log.
Okay.
After printing this line, it called this function. Correct? It called this function, but at the same time, it went on with the next line also.
Okay. Why we have to wait that much time? We can see the next thing with this period of time. Whatever the code we are going to look, we are going to look that code. If there is any printing, we will print, and then the next time that if the time is going to complete, we will go to the line what the exact time that line needs. Am I confused?
Correct. So this
Okay.
means
Now
the angular,
first log will print and
no,
if you go to first log will print and it will go to second function, it will take time. That's the thing, it will print second log, then it will print console second function, right?
correct.
Okay.
First log is printed. This is called, but this is not printing because it is in sleep mode. 5 seconds, it is
Okay.
in wait. So, but what I want to show here is Angular calls line number, executes line number 25. It executes line number 26. Immediately it executes line number 27 without even waiting for the function to finish.
Okay.
What Angular is telling, I call the function. It is the function's duty to do whatever it is.
Okay.
I'll go with the next line. I'll go with the next line. Whatever it is there, I'll go and I'll finish my work. That is how Angular works. It is not synchronous, it is asynchronous.
Okay.
It calls all the line one after another without waiting. It is not waiting here. It calls and then it goes here. That's all.
Okay.
I can show you in a better way. I'll have one variable. Variable number 1. The initial value of the variable is 1. Number 1 is 1. Here in the first log, I am printing number 1. What it should print? It should print 1. In the second function, I am changing the variable to this dot number 1 equal to 2. I am changing it here. Now, after the second function, here, this dot number 2. Will it print 1 or 2?
Usually it will print number 2.
2, because this function, the value is changed, but Angular will print number 1.
Number 1, but there is time lag, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, because it is not waiting. It is not waiting for this function. It is proceeding with it with the next line and printing. So this is a problem. Why problem? Because let us say.
We didn't define number 2, right? Number 1.
No, I'm not
equal to 2.
number.
Okay.
I'm not
number 1 equal
yeah.
to 2. Okay. Just given in place of number 1. Okay.
This is a API call to retrieve the data. Okay. So I have taken some sample API. Let me take it here. Okay, so I just I'll explain you later what all I did in HTTP. For now, we can ignore it. But what I'm doing, I changed the function name as fetch data. So first log, we are printing the number, fetch data, and second log. Here, I'm going to fetch the DB data. This dot HTTP client from the API dot get. What is the URL?
HTTP client. Okay.
The URL for the web service, for the REST services, this one, followed by the JSON request. Dot subscribe result console.log result. So let us first see whether that is working. Okay, HTTP client injector. So I have to import the module. This and all I'll come later because I'm not focused on showing that. So I have to import the HTTP client module. HTTP client module from Angular common. So I have to go to app module. Actually, it is very interesting to work in this Angular, and not only Angular, any language you take, is very interesting how the language is structured, how do we retrieve data.
As you said, initial call, Rajesh, we know basic functionality, it's easy or it's very interesting. Basic knowledge we don't know. They are working
Yes.
to the deep technology. It's very irritating to us too. We are just thinking to complete the task. That's it. Not possible to learn.
Correct.
The time is not permit. Yeah.
Exactly. I understand you, but I really appreciate you guys spending 1 hour a day to learn this. You have come across so much. Don't leave it. Just finish this off. Finish it off and learn. So this will definitely help you in future in learning any other language, not only Angular. Any language you can easily learn. I'll definitely tell you.
Sorry, Rajesh, I joined very late.
No problem, Ganesh. I just realized. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, in our Tamil Nadu, just at least our people have in +1, +2 these languages. But yeah, in our home state we don't have. We have to come to engineering and we have to.
In Tamil Nadu also, Rajesh.
Maybe the
school learning is different, but working environment is entirely different. In my working, I saw it's there. Even in engineering also, one of the professors saying, this is the piston. It looks like it's working up and down. Inside we have some wall, we have some spring. They're explaining like that. I'm thinking, oh, piston, it's like 100 kg. It's one entire room size. Like that I imagine. But practically when I come and see, it's just a small thing.
Correct.
Practical knowledge. Whoever have practical knowledge, they are good in basic as well as technology. One small example in my college, we have 3 to 4 areas, but we have base means at least some basic knowledge we have. So how Angular is work, if you are configured to Angular, what are all the basic things we need to do? Those details, But for me, for Angular subject, I need to get some 80 to 85 marks. So I have to go through all the stuff. If I not understand, I mug up all the stuff and I will write in the paper. So it's just to pass in Angular, but I'm getting 85 marks. 85 plus 85 marks. Okay, so I'm sitting here. He is sitting in Tokyo, Japan. So this week Japan, next week Sweden, next week he is nearby US. Monthly once he has different countries.
Hmm.
So that I realized later. Okay, the mark is not do anything. But for in Tamil Nadu, but for job we need mark. The get pass is the mark. But after how we are going to sustain it's our knowledge. Knowledge, not only knowledge, it's a basic knowledge, base knowledge. We need fundamental things.
Yes,
Initial,
absolutely.
initial class, what Rajesh said, is because of his experience.
Right.
If we are coming from Tamil medium people, it's very much struggle. If at least they know technology, they are okay. For communication, it's just
Yeah, I
I'm
completely
going to
agree,
explain. Yeah,
Ganesh, with you. I totally completely agree with you. They have like a technical knowledge, but what we say, because of that, most of the people they are staying in our home.
the city people have some 100 people out of 100, some 30 to 40 people. 40 people only
No.
have purely technical knowledge. Remaining all communication knowledge they have.
Yeah.
They will sustain. They are not technical tech arc like that. They simply have business analyst. Yeah.
Not only that one, Ganesh. In my masters, we are like class. We are like 40 people. Out of 40, I have only one guy from Tamil Nadu or Tamil. Most of the people are from North India. From my home state.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
different,
true.
it's a different scenario that we will talk later. Why Tamil Nadu people are not coming and
No, but the thing, it's a good thing. Not coming outside, just staying in the home, just taking care of parents. It's a good thing, but at least.
Okay. So I am done. So I'll show you now. So we have an NG on in it, and I have the first log. I'm printing the number.
Okay.
This is okay. I'll remove this because I have a better example. So I'll remove this one. So I'm printing the first log. Now I'm calling the fetch data. Inside the fetch data, I am calling the database, not the database, the API, REST API. And you need not worry about this. We will see this in the next week. So for now, just understand that using the HTTP client object, I'm fetching the result. And once I get the result, I'm printing it out just for me to know that whether I get the result or not. In the API, what they have said, we will be getting this result. So when I call this method, I should be getting a result. I will print here result from API received, just to understand that it is done. Now, after this log, after this calling this method, I will print that result again, result.data.
1 second, Rajesh. Just hold on a second. I have to check the code. If I miss anything. At the 24th line, Rajesh, we are printing that API. Okay,
Result.
this dot result object dot data. I can't see data. Where is data? I can see result dot object.
The data will be inside the result. It is from the API. This guys.
That's the thing we are giving dot data.
Yeah, because this array dot data. This result object dot data.
Okay, the data one it is going to print.
Yeah.
Or the whole thing.
If I don't give data, it will print the whole thing.
Okay. Because just I have to make sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
So what I'm doing, in the init, I call the first console, and then I call this fetch data. The fetch data is going to fetch from the database, from the API, and the result I'm displaying here. The same result I'm trying to access after this line. So technically, since I am calling the database here, I should be able to access it here also. Let me change it to 1 second here. So I should be able to access it. But in reality, it is coming as undefined. See here. I have the first log. First log is printed. I am calling the database. It is taking some time to return. The database result I received here. But before that, it went to the second log and it printed that the result is not there. Because the database result is coming sometime. It is an API call.
Oh, it will take more time compared to what the timing we given for the second one.
Yes.
Second one. Okay. If it take more time also it has to print, right?
No. Before that, this got executed. This got executed, let's say.
Oh, that got executed means the one which is working with the before one, the execution is not done completely.
Yeah, when this was getting executed, the result is not available
at that particular of time.
At that time. So it is printing as undefined. After that only the result is obtained. We are getting the result. So this is a drawback. Okay, what will happen? We will be depending on this value. Let us say when I get a result, let us say if let me do, yeah, if that result is there, then I will print here I received the result, something like that I will print, but this will never be executing. Console.log received the result. See here, this line will never be executed because at the time when the Angular is crossing over 35, the 34 is not yet done.
Yeah.
Only when the 34 is done, the result will be taken and will be posted or applied in this object. And then, so technically what should happen? This line should wait. These should wait for 34 to finish. If these two lines wait for 34 to finish, then everything will be perfect. So this is the drawback. And this is the advantage also. We cannot tell drawback both, because Angular is designed to be asynchronous. It will not wait for anything. It will just execute every line and finish up. So to make this work, when I get the second log, I need the data here itself. To achieve that, we are having something called as promise. So this is the problem. And to solve this problem, we have the promise. So what I will do, I have a method here. So what I will do, I am creating a promise, new promise, and it accepts resolve and reject, two arguments. Resolve is a success, reject is an error. So inside this, I will remove this. I have the timeout for now to show you. I'll copy this entire content where it starts from here to here and here. So here till here it is there. So this entire thing I will copy and I will put it inside the promise. So I will delete this. It is not needed anymore. Okay, so now what I am doing, the same thing, but I'm wrapping my database API call inside a promise. Now, once I get the result, I will be calling resolve. Resolve, I will pass the done. Okay, done. Just done, I'm passing it. So I'm returning the promise. Return, it is void. I have to remove this void. So return promise. I didn't do anything else. The set timeout was already there. Everything was already there. I just cut that. I put it inside a promise wrapper. After I do this, now if I execute, there will not be any change. It is going to still give as undefined. Now, here only one line of change I have to do. It is returning promise. I'm returning a promise here. Promise means it is telling me that I am definitely going to give you a result. So wait for me. So we will receive it as let promise object equal to this dot fetch data. And all I have to give is I have to wrap everything inside the promise. Promise object dot then, which means when you receive a result, then that's all. So what I am doing, I'm getting the promise. So when the promise is returned, then you call this function. Now, if you see the receive from the result will not be called immediately. See here, first log, it is waiting. Result from API received, and then it is receiving the result. The second log is now having the data.
Okay. Rajesh, please go to the code.
That's all. You can go through this section to this section. You can ignore. Just focus on this line, line number 21, and how it is called here. That's all. This set timeout and all you forget. So what I am doing, I create a promise function, and this is a syntax. This line is a syntax. You can copy paste as it is. And inside this, I can do whatever I want. And then I will return the promise. And whenever I want this to be returned back, I will call resolve. So here I will get that promise and I'll put then, which means when the resolve is called, immediately it will come into then. This is a very useful, very handy technique in Angular. With this, all the major concepts in the Angular are done. The key thing you have to understand is the emitter, subject, and promise. Even emitters, you can keep it in third. Subjects will be, no, subjects and promise are equally important, equal weightage. If I don't give this in promise, if I delete this promise object, the Angular will execute this immediately. But since I gave inside a promise, Angular knows that, okay, this is a promise, which means the function is going to return something. I should not execute this now. Only when the resolve is triggered, I should go into the promise and execute it. You can ask your doubt.
Rajesh, could you please go a little bit down, like 2 lines?
Which one? Down. Okay.
Little bit down. Okay. It will come to 49. It will press first one. Okay. It will go to 43. This start fetch data. Okay. It will go to fetch.
Delete this.
Okay. It will go to fetch data. Okay. Fetch data is above. Okay. Already we have promise here, right? We given a promise. That's the thing. It has to print the fetch data and then it has to come to 45. That's what you are telling, right?
Correct.
Rajesh, and one more thing here. Line number 28 or 42, we given console.log. Here, usually we are giving log, just we are as usual like a print, right? As a print command.
Yeah, it is
console.output. Okay.
here. Print here.
Why console? I understood. Log means just it's like a
Syntax, just to log, print it.
okay.
It's like a printf command in C
Okay.
and cout command or system.out.println in Java.
Okay.
Just can you explain the HTTP initially?
No, HTTP I didn't go.
Oh,
I didn't start yet.
okay.
Only this promise I focus now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
going
now
here, Rajesh.
Okay, I will go to HTTP now. So to use the HTTP, the first thing is we have to go to the Angular EO and see the HTTP client. HTTP client is the class which we need to use to query any API, to send out any HTTP request. And this class is inside HTTP, see here, provided in HTTP client module. So I copy this module, I go to the app module and I import that HTTP client module.
Okay.
That is done. This is the first step. And once this is done, in the app component, so wherever I want to call the HTTP, in the constructor, I need to inject it. Where is the constructor? Here. In the constructor, I need to give that module, the client of the class name. Once I give this, I can use this object wherever I need. Here it is. This dot HTTP client dot get. This is going to accept the URL and option. If you see in the documentation, it is showing URL and option. Option can have headers, parameters, report progress, all these things are there. I am sending the URL and empty object. I'm not sending any data. And that is again subscribe. It is like subject only, behavior subject. So I subscribe to it. And whenever the result comes from the API, it will come into this block. And what I do, I take the result and save it in the temporary, the object which I am having. And I call resolve.done. This is for the, this one, for the promise. Now I have this object, I can print it in the screen. Let me do that. First, I will see what is the object that is coming. Object, data. I'm having ID, email, first name, last name, and avatar. So I will take just the result.data. Result.data. So this is going to be an array. Not here. I will, this one, I'll take it. Result. Result array. Result array equal to this dot result object dot data. So the 6 array alone I am taking and printing. Okay. Next is I will go to the app component HTML. I'll give an div tag and ng for let item of what is the list? Result array is the list. So from the list, from the result array, I need to take every object and I need to print out what is the first data. It is ID, email, first name, last name. So I'll do one more thing here. Instead of div, I'll give a table. Table. We saw in the HTML, right? So table, row. So inside the row, I'll go the first column. No. First column is item dot ID. Now the second column. Item dot email. Third column, item dot first underscore name, last underscore name. First underscore name, last underscore name, and we have an avatar. That is an image. So inside the TD, I will give an image img src equal to item dot avatar. Okay, so let's see how it is coming. Super. So all these have come correctly, but the image tag alone is not coming. Image, oh, there it is. It took some time to load. So see here. If I go in the table, border equal to 1, the border will be visible. Okay. It is first row, correct only. First row ID, name, this one. Okay. So I'll give in TR equal to this is not right way. Okay, I'll leave this border for now. There's some alignment issue. So we are fetching the data from the API and we are displaying it in the table. This is a sample service I got from the internet, list of user. So they are returning set of record. So what will happen if I give page equal to 3? Okay, what I am getting, no, there is no record returned.
In which scenario we are moving for HTTP and promise?
All the API call will be HTTP.
Okay.
If you want to call a backend service, Java or PHP or .NET, it's HTTP.
Okay. Third class, we are using image.
Where?
Image. In the third or fourth class, Angular class. Previously, we have just rewrite the image page .jpg. That also we are using direct internet page only. Am I right, Rajesh?
Yes, yes.
So what is the difference between that one and this HTTP?
No, that was a single image, but here we are getting a set of data. Earlier, we just gave one image.
Yeah.
But now we are getting a table, right? We are getting the entire bunch of records. First user, second user.
Okay.
So this is see here, the data is coming. Earlier, we gave the data in the page. If you see the order, not here, where it is, shopping zone. This array we would have formed in the page. See here.
Correct. Here
instead of
this one,
instead of
image source equal to
correct. Correct. Instead of this, what I will do, I will now remove this and I will load the value there. So what I have to do, first step, from the app component in the constructor, I have to copy this first. I will cut it so that an app component, I don't need this feature. I'll put it here. First step. Second step, I have to cut the import. HTTP client. I'm cutting it from here and I put it here. This is the second step. Done. Now, this function.
We explain here itself.
No, yeah, I'll put it there. We will replace the orange with this data.
Okay.
We will no longer get orange data. So I'll cut this method and I will paste it in the shopping zone. And I will paste as a method. I'll name it as fetch API datas. Okay. The result object is throwing error. So I have to cut that variable. I'll cut it from here and let me paste it.
Sorry for the interruption. See, function means it's a normal braces. If object means it's a flower braces, right?
Exactly, you got it. So ng on init, I have to call the method and the promise. So I will cut this entire thing and I'll paste it in the ng on init. Okay. Instead of fetch data, it is going to be fetch API data. So when the shopping zone component is going to load, it is going to call this data and promise.return. It is, I just did this to explain you, but we are not using it now. So once we get the result, the result is going to be in result array. Now result array, I don't, result array. That's all, everything is done. In the page, I have to change this from items array to result array because item array is a hard coded array.
Yes, yes.
I'm not going to use it, but I don't want to delete this. I just want it to be retained so you can refer. So item as a result array. Okay, then I'll do one thing. I'll not delete this mat card. I will copy this mat card once again and I'll push it here. So what I will do is the result array. I'll put it here. And what I have to give item ID. No, what all attribute we had in the HTML: ID, email, first name, last name. So I'll do first name. I will give the last name. I will give the, in the image, I have to give image the item dot avatar. You do avatar, item dot avatar. What else? That's all. I can add more parameter if you want, like email address. And I'll add here the email address. It is up to us on how we format the data. So from app component HTML, I will remove this table. I will delete this entire thing. It is okay. Let it be. It is not a real project. Okay. So I think everything is good. What is the issue? Shopping zone component 59, a comma is expected. Shopping zone component is maybe in the constructor. No, from is this one. Subscribe. Okay, subscribe. I need to do like this and like this. Okay, syntax error. Yes, this is good. I should not get a result still. Okay, I got it. See.
Okay.
So this was a temporary array which we had. Now I'm fetching from the API. So I can add it. If you go here, you should see all these names. Why it is not coming? Because in that module dialog, in the order dialog, HTML, we have given item name. Item name is not there. Instead of it is called as first name or last name or the email ID. Correct. Item name was in our original array. So if I give like first name and now refresh it, if I add every one of them, I go here, the name should come.
Okay. Can you explain the flow contained by this? We have done now. Yeah, it's just a flow.
The flow starts in the shopping zone ng on init. Ng on init, we will be, yes, ng on init a function. We will be calling the fetch API data. The promise has no role now because we are not using promise. I just did it to explain you.
Okay.
Otherwise, this line is no longer needed. This is not needed. So we are just calling the method. In this method, again, this line is not needed. This line is not needed. This line is not needed, and this is not needed. Here, what I do, I use the HTTP client object. What is HTTP client? Which is there in the constructor. HTTP client.http client, which is I'm importing.
It's a
Using
syntax,
this,
right? No need
it's a
to-
syntax. This
okay.
is a syntax. This
Okay.
syntax, I can call any endpoint here. I can give any API here.
Okay, okay.
And
But,
the parameter.
URL and parameter. Yeah. Now we are passing with blank parameter.
Empty parameter, correct.
Ah.
Empty JSON. Empty JSON is passed.
Okay.
And this is going to return me a list. How do I know what it is returning? If I copy this, they are showing here. This is what the result will be.
Okay, okay, okay.
And I take the result and I assign it to a array.
Okay.
The result will come in the result. I assign it to an array. In the HTML, it is straight same whatever. I'm reusing the thing. I'm just changing the parameter name because we had item name type, but in the result, there is nothing as item name or type. See here in the result, email, first name, last name, and avatar. So we have to change the UI accordingly. First name, last name, and avatar I am giving.
Yeah.
And everything is good. This is loading from the API.
API.
You can find out any other APIs and also we can use it. You can see like free, fake, yeah.
Rajesh, one thing here. Yesterday we discussed that, right? In another class. That's the thing that the API we were explaining the same.
No,
thing.
that is a web service. This is a REST service. Yesterday, what we discussed was web service, which has WSDL.
Okay.
But now this is a REST service. This is another type of service, right? You remember? I said there are two types of service. REST and web.
Okay.
REST is the WSDL.
Yeah, the shirt and the t-shirt. Right?
Yeah, that we did in Java, inside the Eclipse. We had to generate the stub and then we had to call. But this is a straightforward REST API.
Okay.
Yes, any question?
I'm good, Rajesh. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, today in the other class, I'll be going over the REST API. Yesterday, I showed how to access the web service API. Today, I will show how to access the REST API.
Okay. I think wherever we go, these things are mandatory.
And nowadays, it has become so common because everyone wants to reuse. No one wants to develop new applications. They want to reuse the service from others. So they just talk with others. Okay, you have the service. I'm not going to spend anything to develop from scratch. I'll pay you, give me the service, I'll use it. So it's become very common now.
Okay.
The thing is, web service, how it was 15 years back, it is exactly same. There's no change in it. It is 100% same as how I learned and how I developed in as a fresher. It is still same. It's been 15 years. So think of how much secure they have done it 15 years back itself, so that there is no need for any alteration past 15 years.
Okay.
How strong or how systematic and well planned the web service was built at this time itself. Otherwise, within this 15 years, definitely some issues would have come. Someone would have asked for an addition, or all those things are common, right?
Yeah.
So they will be amending and appending or changing. Everything would have gone, but nothing has been done. It is whatever I am teaching you now is exactly what I learned as a fresher. Okay. So I think we covered pretty much things in the Angular now. The HTTP was the last thing which I wanted to show. That's also done now. So we are able to fetch from the REST service. So we'll stop here for today. So next week onwards, some minor concepts I'll start going through it. And please use this weekend. Okay, yeah, I have to share the file, right? So please use the weekend and try to get hold of the concept. I sent the file. Please download and keep it in. All right.
1 second, Ganesh.
Ganesh, Arul, you got the file?
No, sir, I am using mobile, sir.
Mobile.
Just I will share it just.
Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you. So what you do is you take some other service and try to call that service and bring the data. Like fake customer REST API. Dummy API. So if you go to sites like this, there are many
Yes, if
APIs.
Angular install, instead of global, shall I give the, if I'm in D directory, I'm creating folder. So how we can give without the G, right? Just to
No,
go to
the first install has to be global.
Oh, it's a default global only.
Yes, yes.
If I'm in D drive also, we need to give global.
Yes.
Okay, actually in D drive I tried without a global. I'm just went to the D drive, create new folder, project, inside project, CMD I enter, npm without a G, install @angular/CLI. I'm not getting more files. And also it's asking, shall I give some settings, yes or no? I gave it no. I got only package.json and the node module. That's it. Node module also don't have much folders. That's why I'm asking. Even for a project also, we need to give global or
No, project is local.
Okay.
Project no need to give G.
For in the fresh mission, in our personal mission, we
yes.
Okay.
You have this API. I'll send it in chat. This is having, you can try this. You can try this. This is bringing users. See here, name, username, email. This setup, this is an array. They have around 10 data, and they have around 100 dummy post API available. So you can try calling any of the APIs and fetch the data. Okay, 500 comments are there. You can fetch these 500 comments and show it in the page. Just post, not post, that get. Just get empty input and you'll get this array. 500 data, you will get it. I sent in the chat. So this site, you can use it. Once you try hitting any of the API by yourself, then you will get more confidence. Oh my God, there are lots of data here. See here, there are lots. Good. This should be a good site to start with. And what else? I saw this dummy REST API, but you have to sign in. Explore. Let me see what is there. Wow. See here. These are all dummy data. You can bring these data and show in your website. Using the API. This is the endpoint. REST endpoint. see if I copy this and paste it here, I'll get the result immediately. If I go to the shopping zone TES and just replace it
Rajesh,
there.
I'm leaving, I have some other work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop here then. Monday we will see.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Rajesh.